Welcome to your 30-minute Yin Yoga class to help open and release tension in your hips. Let's start by sitting in a cross-legged position with your hands resting on your knees. Close your eyes and take a deep inhale through your nose and a slow exhale out of your mouth, letting go of any tension. With each breath, feel your body soften. Maybe setting an intention for your practice. Maybe it's to release, to open, or simply to be present. Let's take one more deep breath in and exhale all the way. Let's start to extend your left leg forward and rest your right foot against the inner thigh. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, gently fold over your left leg, allowing the spine to round. Maybe walking the hands down along the mat. Feel the stretch along your hamstrings and your lower back. Let your inhales create space and your exhales encourage release. If you find your body naturally opening, you might choose to fold a little bit deeper, maybe grabbing onto the outsides of your left foot if that is in your practice. Notice any areas of tension and invite them to relax with each breath. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the back of your throat, staying with your Ujjayi breath. Holding this one-legged hamstring stretch for just a few more breaths. Slowly begin to rise back up, walking the hands back towards you. Extending the right leg forward, and let's bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to fold over the right leg. Allow the spine to round. Resting the hands on either side of your leg. Feeling your inhale, expanding the back of your leg. And as you exhale, release any gripping or resistance. Be sure to remember Yin is about surrender and not force. So not forcing yourself into any variation of the poses. Try to invite a little bit more softness through the shoulders, maybe the toes, releasing any tension you're holding on to in this posture. Let's take a few more breaths exactly where you are. On your next breath in, slowly start to rise up across the ankles. Find your way into tabletop, shoulders over wrists, and the hips over the knees. Bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. The outer edge of your foot is in line with the long edge of your mat. Preparing for dragon pose. Making sure the front knee is in line with the ankle. To deepen the stretch, you can always slide the left leg back. Feeling the deep stretch through the hip flexor. Feel free to keep your hands on the mat or even placing them on a block. If it's in your practice, feel free to lower the forearms down to the mat. Feel free to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Breathing deeply and allow any tension in your hips to release. Breathing in through the nose, feeling the expansion through your belly and chest. As you exhale, soften into the pose, allowing any resistance to fade. Try to embrace the stillness as you're holding dragon pose. Staying here for just a few more breaths. Breathing in, exhale out. On your next breath in, start to lift yourself back up onto your hands. Heel toe your right foot to the center of the mat and start to slowly straighten the right leg, shifting the right hip back, flexing the foot. Feel free to keep a slight bend in the right knee, and you can also use props on either side of your right leg just to provide a little bit more support and bring the ground closer towards you. And if you'd like to go a little bit deeper into this posture, feel free to fold over your right leg. Stay with your Ujjayi breath. Let your hamstrings soften. As you breathe, notice if any resistance comes up and allow yourself to gently let go. Breathing in, exhale out. Taking a few more breaths wherever you are in half split. When you're ready, start to gently bend into your front knee and bring the knee back tabletop. Start to step the left foot onto the outside of your left hand, keeping it in line with the long edge of the mat. If it feels okay, gently rocking forward and back, exploring movement before settling into stillness. And either keeping your hands on the mat or even placing them on a block. If it's in your practice, feel free to lower down onto your forearms and embracing the stillness in dragon pose. Notice any resistance in the hips. Can you breathe into that space and allow it to soften just a little bit more? Notice how your body feels in this moment. No need to change anything, just observe. Taking a few more breaths in dragon pose. Breathing in, breathing out. And in your own time, coming back up onto your hands, bring your left foot to the center of your mat and start to shift your left hip back, toes pointing up for half split. Keeping the right hip stacked over the knee. Option to keep a slight bend in the left leg. There is no rush to go deeper into this posture, but if you feel like you'd like to go a little bit deeper, maybe folding over the left leg, allowing the spine to round. Breathing in Exhale out. Feeling the deep stretch through the back of the left leg. Notice if there's any tension you're holding on to. Inhale through the nose, and as you exhale through the mouth, see if you can soften through the body just a little bit more. Taking 2 more breaths in half split. Slowly start to bend into the left knee and bring it back to meet with the right. From tabletop, tucking the toes, spreading your fingers nice and wide, lift your hips up high to find downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, bending one knee at a time, opening up through the backs of the legs. On your next breath in, lifting the right leg high behind you, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring the right knee to right wrist, shin is at a 45, walking the left leg down behind you. Untucking the back toes, pressing into the fingertips, lifting your chest to lengthen your spine. If this feels good, stay here and breathe. If you'd like to go deeper into pigeon pose, start to walk your hands forward, lowering your torso down over your front leg. Maybe resting your forearms or bringing your forehead down to the mat. If this feels a little intense through the right hip, feel free to place a bolster or block under the right hip, providing a little bit more support. Breathe deeply in pigeon pose, sending your inhale into any areas of tension. With every exhale, see if you can soften just a little bit more. Embracing the stillness in pigeon pose for a few more breaths on this side. Whenever you're ready to release pigeon pose, slowly lift your gaze, walk your hands back in, tuck your back toes, and press it back into downward facing dog, taking a moment to reset before we move on to the other side. Bring your right foot to the center of the mat and lift the left leg up, three-legged dog, and bring the left knee to your left wrist, pointing the toes and walking the right leg right back behind you. Toes are untucked on the right foot. Lifting the chest, lengthening through the spine, squaring off the hips. And option to keep the hands on the mat, or if it feels good for you and you're ready to go deeper into this posture, start to walk the hands forward, bringing your upper body over the left leg, maybe lowering down onto your forearms or bringing your forehead to mat. Find stillness and stay with your breath. We tend to store a lot of stress and emotion in our hips, which can lead to tension. As you settle into pigeon pose, take slow, deep breaths. And with each exhale, soften any resistance, inviting release and ease into your body. Taking a few more breaths in your pigeon pose. When you're ready, start to lift yourself up onto your hands, walking your hands back towards you. Tuck the back toes, and let's take one more downward facing dog of the practice. Lower yourself down onto your knees, swing your legs over to one side, and come onto your sits bones. Legs extended forward, preparing for seated straddle. Start to extend your legs out as wide as they can comfortably go without forcing them further out. Let your feet flex gently, keeping the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Allowing the hands to rest either on your legs or on the mat in front of you. Feel free to stay here or use a block or bolster under your hands. Breathing into any sensations of stretch through the inner thighs and hamstrings. If you'd like to go deeper into your seated straddle, walk your hands forward, keeping your chest lifted, moving slowly. Or if your body allows, start to lower onto your forearms. Inhaling to create space, exhaling to soften. Try to let go of any tension in the shoulders, the jaw, or hips. Holding seated straddle for just a few more breaths. Slowly begin to lift yourself up, walking your hands back towards you. Bring your hands underneath the legs. Use them to bend the knees. Bring the legs hip width distance apart. And let's take a few windshield wipers. So dropping the knees to one side and then over to the other. Resetting the hips. Come back to center. Extend the arms forward, palms up. Deep breath in. Exhale, chin to chest, rolling all the way down onto your back. Start to extend your right leg forward, left knee in towards your chest. Inhale to create space. And as you exhale, start to guide the left leg across the body and over to your right side. If it feels good for your neck, you can drop the gaze over your left shoulder. Supine spinal twist. Feel free to use a bolster or block under your left knee for that extra support. Let your shoulders stay heavy on the mat. Feeling your ribs expand on each inhale. And as you exhale, feeling yourself softening into the twist. Taking a few more breaths. Nice slow inhale through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Taking your time as you start to bring the left knee back to center and lowering it back down along the mat. Breathing in as you bring the right knee in, left hand to the outside of the right leg, creating space as you breathe in and twisting as you exhale, bringing the leg over to the left side. Option to gaze over the right shoulder. Relaxing the right shoulder down, feeling a gentle release across the chest and spine. Softening through the jaw, relax your belly and feel the support of the ground beneath you. Breathing in, exhale out. Taking a few more breaths in this twist. And in your own time, start to bring your knee back through the center. Bring the right foot down, walk the left foot in. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open, finding a comfortable reclined butterfly pose. For a modification, feel free to slide the feet further away from you, or if you're looking to intensify this posture, feel free to bring the heels closer towards you. Let your arms rest wherever it feels best for you, whether they're by your sides, maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly to connect with your heartbeat and your breath, or maybe cactusing the arms to open up through the shoulders and chest. Breathing in, and as you exhale, releasing any lingering tension in your hips and lower back. Embracing complete relaxation and stillness in this moment. Breathing in, exhale out. Staying in reclined butterfly for just a few more breaths. Bringing your hands underneath your knees, bringing the knees in together, and start to hug your legs in towards your chest, giving yourself a nice hug before you finish the practice. When you're ready, extending your legs long, arms resting by your sides. Take one final deep breath in. Exhale to let it go completely. Feel free to stay in Savasana for as long as you'd like, honoring yourself for taking this time to slow down and reconnect. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.